So what happened? What exactly happened this patch? After Ruststone launched, everybody had hopes of this game going in a better direction. The changes were good and well thought out, and it almost seemed like the firing of Rubble did ZeniMax so much good. In reality, however, Elsweyr is another horrible update filled with changes that make zero sense. And the devs stay silent as always, which makes this straight up worse. Not even class reps had a saying in all of what was going on PTS. None of the game-breaking bugs have been fixed, such as shade bug, sprint bug, undo bug, light attack or health desync bug, shield custom bug, etc. But what ZeniMax tried fixing is the bugs nobody cared about, such as bunny hopping or werewolf transmutation bug, which both can still be performed but in a different way. Not to mention that they implemented new bugs on top of the old ones, like breaking the cripple root, the return of the streak bug, and every AoE in the game desyncing your health when decloaking. I am literally not able to duel a Stemplar or a Stem Decay on my Stem Blade when using Shadowy Disguise, because I'm gonna get nuked at 70% health without me even knowing. The main issue that ZeniMax wanted to address, as stated on the post that has been published on their official forums a month prior to PTS coming up, is a tank meta. What the meta means is most effective tactic available. In a tank meta, players can be extremely hard to kill due to all the stacked defense and still be able to debuff and kill their opponent with the minimal damage required. In such a meta, there is not much window for mechanical outplays, but much window for burst damage to exist, unless it comes from a highly overperforming source such as Stamblade or Maxorg. Stamblade has been fixed this patch, Maxorg is still running wild. The meta revolves around strong debuffs which wear down your opponent's defense and make them able to be slowly parsed down. Death by 1,000 cuts if you may. We can see that happening in so where debuffs such as Major Defile, Minor Defile, Major Fracture, etc. get always taken over flat damage because those debuffs enable parsing down an opponent. For example, without debuffs such as Defiles, it's usually too hard to kill an opponent who's playing a meta build due to all the stacked defense and healing he has. Why does the tank meta in ESO exist? Well, first of all, health stacking is too easy in the game. Tri-set glyphs, triune traits, high health foods who get amplified by CP, heavy armor passive, and class passives that give more health are all an issue. And also Battle Spirit, that gives 5k health, which is stupid by our standards nowadays. A year ago, the average HP of a player would be somewhere around 24 to 25k, with Maxorgs running around 20 to 22k because they didn't need more, medium stem base 22 to 24k, and heavy stem 25 to 27k. That was the norm. Today Maxorgs run 30 to 31k HP, heavy stem 28 to 30k, and medium stem base 25 to 27k, because it is absolutely impossible for a medium character even to get under 25k HP nowadays. Going above 30k HP can be easily achieved without much loss on the offensive part of the build, because, well, tri-set glyphs are more stat efficient than max stem or max magical glyphs by about 133%. All light armor magical characters can reach 30k HP easily due to the blue food and tri-set glyphs. Second of which, power creep. ESO had an issue with power creep for the longest time now, partly due to the champion system, which devs acknowledged and will work on. That's what they say, at least. But also due to the introduction to newer, stronger sets and foods. Source is trying to fix the power creep by breaking down classes to their bones while not actually tackling the real issue with the power creep and make everything only worse. The problem with ESO is, though, that stacking offensive stats also make your defensive abilities like shields and heal stronger too. So with all that stacked offense comes also insane defense, and everybody knows that this game has way too much healing. Same goes for Magic Sorcerer shields. They're just too big at this moment. They were too big before, and ZeniMax even buffed those by making resistances apply to shields too. It's as if ZeniMax doesn't even have an idea what they are doing to this game. What you're looking at is a 28k HP Maxorg running around with a 12k Dampen and a 13 to 14k Hardened Ward. That's effectively around, like, what, 50k HP? That's just an example. 3. Defensive multipliers are too easy to implement in builds. Minor Protection and Major Protection are too easy to access, unlike their counterpart, which is Minor and Major Berserk. You can get Minor Protection as a passive from Templar Guard. Wardens and Ibis get it in their own class skills, and major protection can be obtained from Pirate Skeleton with an almost steady uptime of 60 to 70%, like it's nothing. Same for Minor Main, which is hugely accessible, especially to stamina characters. Now when you look at the Berserk buff, which is the counterpart of protection, which should be as accessible as protection, you can notice it's completely unobtainable, unless you're a Warden or want to run a horrible monster set such as Slimeker, which would get outperformed by any other monster set. Major Berserk is completely unobtainable in the game, and all sources of Major Berserk in the game cannot be used in a reliable way. 4. Heavy armor builds are too stat dense. Sets like Fury, 7th and Veiled Heritance are all very stat dense and have no medium armor counterparts. So on top of having all these nice defensive stats that heavy armor provides, heavy armor characters can also stack 6000 to 6.5k weapon damage and have amazing healing and damage without sacrificing absolutely anything. So the board combined with heavy makes up for a sustain through heavy attacking, and on top of it, it also provides damage bonuses such as 5% more weapon damage and more bash damage with reduced cost as well. You can't blame players though for using these builds, because Sword and Board has the only good stun and spammable in the game, which is Reverb and Low Slash, and Medium Armor has absolutely no offensive sets at all. All class stuns in the game have been nerfed throughout time, and all spammables other skill trees had, such as Dizzying Swing, have all gone to shit. So Sword and Board has the only relevant tools left in the game, really. 5. There are no counterparts to the strongest defensive sets in the game. Take Fortified Breast for example, a set that gives you 8145 resistances, has no offensive counterpart, which would provide at least half of the penetration. Same goes for monster sets. While Bloodspawn is a very stat-dense set with a lot of numbers which usually you cannot sacrifice on any build, there is no offensive armor set which can compare number or stat-wise. When there's a way of making the game easier, more forgivable, people will exploit it, and there's simply no downsides of not stacking defensive stats when offensive loss is so minimal in this game. So Elsweyr patch was supposed to be that patch that will mark the first steps on beating down the almost 2 to 3 years old tank meta. So what ZeniMax did was give Nightbits unique 15% damage mitigation, Stem decays more healing, Mag decays more healing, Stemplers more healing, and nerfed healing debuffs and their accessibility.
That just makes no fucking sense. I mean, it's just bullshit. Fuck. Oh my.
What ZeniMax did do this patch is the complete opposite. This is the tankiest patch I've played in yet, and I started playing the game in Homestead when the game was all about full damage setups. That's what I fell in love with. I tried playing Cyrodiil for the first time this patch yesterday, and I had a group of 3 pugs follow me, 2 stem decays and a stem power, all with Sword and Board equipped, so whenever I went for a kill, they started block healing through everything I threw at them. I carried them for a good 10 minutes until I got bored and just started healing myself in place with my Grim Focus fully stacked. Turned out they couldn't kill me either, so we just started dancing in the middle of Cyrodiil. My newly gained unique 15% damage mitigation makes me able to face tank literally any player in this game. That's when I got pissed and uninstalled the game and said goodbye for the weekend. I even tried dueling. I usually don't duel because I lost the interest and fun in it, and I'm just a pure tank. I can face like anybody in medium and it's hilarious. Even people complimented me that my build is a nice tank build in Alikir Desert. Although I'm in a full damage setup. Unless there is some master plan behind these changes like the patch after Elsweyr making us all run medium builds, I don't have any hopes in the future of this game. We're getting to a point where every duel in this game ends up being a stalemate, and XV-running pucks turn out to be too tanky to kill for a solo player. And as much as I want my favorite spec to be the risk-taking assassin, I can't anymore, because the biggest mitigation mechanic in the game is tied to my most offensive skill, the highest tooltip.